Yeah, I keep a variety of flashlights. This is not all the flashlights I have, and it's not very impressive, I know, but um, I like old tech and electronic. One reason I like old tech is because it's ultra reliable. I've had electronic flashlights fail. Now this thing is from the Marine Corps. You've probably seen. I think it's called. I don't know. It's MX3993 slash something U. I'm not sure what this is. Rayco. Oh, this is a Fulton. This thing has just a regular Krypton bulb in it, which is a little bit better, incandescent type bulb, which I use these, right? Now they're not as bright as a lot of these high-powered LED flashlights, and I know a lot of these things are gotten better, the electronics, but I don't have any electronic flashlights that are that freaking old. This thing is ancient. This thing is from the 80s. So is this puppy. It's the old angle freaking military mil-spec flashlight, right? Now, even these mag lights are from the 80s, but they've been upgraded a bunch of times with, what do you call it, LED, electronic circuitry, okay? Both of these 3 battery mag lights, they had the switches replaced on them, they've been upgraded. And they use rechargeables in those. This one is a mag light that's been upgraded a couple times. It's pretty bright now. And actually this little guy right here, I use this one a lot. It's an electronic flashlight, just takes a single. I keep a few of these batteries around. I just rotate them and charge them. It takes one of these guys, the 3.6, 3.7 lithium ion battery. Now that's like your typical new tech stuff, but there's something about the old tech, because like this one's a pen light, right? This one actually is working fine. I bought this. Somebody asked me to review it, and actually just bought it on Amazon. It's not bad actually. It's just the thing is you don't want to use it on high, because it's got AAA batteries in it. Used on high, don't last very long. It's because actually another thing too. You really, these AA battery flashlights, and AAA battery flashlights, especially the AAA's, they're smaller, but you got a hell of a lot less battery life. I like these, and I did not upgrade. I mean, I guess I could, but in this one, that one had this one I put rechargeables in, and because it's in my house, it's not in the heat. I found if you leave rechargeable batteries will lose their charge quicker than alkaline batteries. Leave them in your car, extreme heat, extreme cold, hang it up. You know what I mean? So these I got regular alkaline batteries in, and of course you can see I put the Batteroo sleeve on. Well, this says Batteroo. So I got some Batteroo and I got some batterizers. These are Batteroo. These are Batteroo. So I picked up some of these sleeves for not the electronic flashlights, but the simple ones. I don't think I'm going to try to find out what electronic, because it's a mixed bag with electronic flashlights. Generally, you don't use them. You don't use those sleeves on them. These are fine for regular flashlights. But you see what I like about this. See now, the battery. This is just back in the day, the Krypton bulb was like really freaking bright. No more, man. The technology's changed, but the electronics to manage the battery output is now on his sleeve. So if there's an see, what I'm always thinking is EMP, whether it's the proverbial attack from a rogue nation, or more likely, it's going to be cosmic, because we are actually going back into, you could say this not true or not, but you'll find out quick enough. Between now and 2020, we're going back into a severe mini ice age. What happened last time during the mini ice age was 1859, was the Carrington event, that happened today. All electronics are goodbye. I'd rather have the electronics sitting on the battery sleeve, and like with this does say, this says Batteroo now, man. Batteroo. So I got some C's and D's. I ordered more of them, and I ordered more AAA's and AA's. A couple more packs each of those. So I wouldn't be doing that if I didn't believe in the product, right? But I like the idea of having electronics where I could take them off. As a matter of fact, in a car engine, I like the points ignition with in a cell coil, points ignition, condenser in a cell coil, with the MSD, multiple spark discharge 5A ignition system, which so you have an electronic ignition that could be points fired. If anything happens with your electronic ignition, you could just hit a bypass switch and run off of points. Another EMP, highly EMP resistant type of ignition system, because the coil in a condenser would take a hell of a lot more to fry than sensitive electronics. Yes, in an EMP, the sleeves probably would get fried, but the other side of it is the sleeves are on, what do you call it, are on the outside. But I've been finding out with simple flashlights that just have like a bulb like this, they're good, because I tried it on that other one, that little one with the 2 AA's. It was good. The other thing is, these are pretty fail-safe. Like, in other words, you got a little contact in there, right? You see that? You could take your knife and you can say, well, the copper's getting dirty. Scratch it off. Scratch it off here. And, you know, say sometimes, you know how these damn lights are. If you've been in the military, it used to drive you nuts. You have to smack them with your hand sometimes. But, you know, if you keep the contacts clean with a little dielectric grease on there, they don't get corroded. They don't get corroded anymore. And, you know, all this shit should be cleaned up in here too. Which it is. I did clean it before a couple times. But, yeah, this one actually has got the rechargeable, so I'm not using the sleeves. They're going to probably come out with sleeves for rechargeables later. But actually, I'd like to even ask them a question on this, because I'm not sure with these rechargeables. These are nickel cadmium, and nickel cadmium are pretty, they can handle a lot more abuse than, you know, be discharged really bad, and, you know, they like being you know, run down hard and recharged up, you know, like, unlike nickel metal hydride, they don't like being run down too hard, you know, real hard, you know. These, I'm not sure, you know, I'm almost wondering if they would work with the sleeves, you know. I'm going to find out if there's any 2 battery heavy duty flashlights that are electronic that will benefit by the sleeves, because it's mainly you don't want to do that with these sleeves. But I like Old Tech, because I know Old Tech works. Like this Jeep hood we're sitting on here, this is the Suzuki SJ413. It's not a Jeep, okay, it's a Suzuki, but it's kind of like the same dimensions as the old Willys. This doesn't have any electronics in it, other than it's got no electronic ignition box or anything like that. It's got an igniter in a distributor. That's it. I don't think this thing, I think this thing is pretty much EMP, I don't know if it's EMP proof, but it's EMP resistant. And the fuel delivery is just by a mechanical pump. You know, it's a pump, you know, regular fuel pump. It bolts onto an engine block, and it's got the little lever that works off the cam. You know, I mean, I tell you the truth, I like electronics, but I'd really like it better if you could have a way to bypass them if they fail. And like I mentioned, the one thing with the ignition system, you know, nobody even knows points anymore. I know them inside out. Like, you know, most points are set at, like, I don't know, 17 thousandths, 30-degree angle of dwell, maybe 4 degrees before top, dead center, or maybe to 8, depends on the cam. Still remember, like, the firing orders on the engines, 18436-572, and what was it, 1536-24. on the Chevys and the 6 cylinders and shit, right? Well, the 6 cylinders. But, you know, that's old school shit. And there's a lot to be said about old school shit, because this damn flashlight is going to work when all the other ones fail, because it's got just simple contacts in it. And like I said, you know, in the EMP, I guess probably the batteroo would get fried, I guess, because it's got electronics on it. But you can use this like an intelligent battery management system, where it would keep the flashlight bright with this, you know, these types, the simple bulbs. And, you know, not that many years ago, this Krypton bulb was considered really high tech. But, you know, you can run a Krypton bulb with these guys, these batteroos, right? So that's what's, so this one, I don't want rechargeables in, because it's in the trunk of my car. And I found out that with the heat, because, you know, down south, the Florida heat is freaking pretty bad, man. The rechargeables, even the Nicods, don't seem to freaking hold the charge very long. Besides, they're 1.2 volts to begin with. You know, all rechargeables. So I'd rather have 1.5 volt Duracells, or actually Rayovacs. I prefer Rayovacs. Because I mentioned before, actually I do recharge those a little bit. You know, when you get down to like 1.3 volts on the Rayovacs, I throw them on a charger for a little while. You got to be careful when you're doing that, because you're not supposed to do that. But they freaking last. But you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe some of the Nicods can actually benefit by that technology, because Nicods are designed to be really drawn down pretty hard. I don't know. And like I said, I'm going to find out. I don't know, you know, I'm going to find out from them, because even though this device was really designed for more like active loads, the simple old flashlights, it'll work. And depends on the product. You don't want to just throw these in any electronic flashlight, because it could be a problem even for the flashlight. I don't even know if it'll freaking, who the hell knows, man, because you're adding electronics to electronics. It might be a bad mix. I don't know. They tell you not to use it with electronic flashlights, but there's going to be certain ones it's going to benefit by. Like something like this, I was even wondering about, because this one, with these damn little AAAs in there, the first thing that craps out on it is the high beam, that thing. Then it only works on low beam, because the voltage on the batteries are getting too low. So I don't know if it would work in that, but I'm going to try to find out what AA and two D cell battery flashlights work with this product, and what 2 C cell flashlights work with this product, because I consider this to be fail safe. In other words, you got a bulb in there, which is a pretty strong flashlight. It's got the red lenses on it and all that bullshit, like in the back here. I don't know if you've ever seen these damn things. People aren't familiar with these. You got this is the old school shit, man. It's got, see, got the red lenses in there, and you don't need anything electronic. You know, everybody knows how to do an SOS signal. You know, right? I mean, you don't need to have it automatic. That's what they got this damn button for, right? You got the button on here for. This thing's been around, both those lights, this one, and that one, they've been around since the 80s and abused like crazy. I had them in the military. This looks like it's on, but it's not. It's the reflection from my light. And I like I said, I've broken electronic flashlights too many times. I'd rather have the electronics where I could just take them out and this stupid thing would work anyway. I don't know how long this bad boy would last too. And you know, this is like, I keep replacing these bulbs with the latest gizmo electronic bulb out there, so it's brighter. And I really don't know. I just can't imagine that shit lasting. I mean, theoretically, it's got all these hours of life in that bulb, but you know, you drop something. I mean, yeah, the mag light doesn't break, but all the maybe the electronics are going to break. This thing, you could possibly break that bulb, but then you got an extra one in the back here. It's in here someplace. I forget where the hell it is. It's under. It's in. There's an extra bulb in the bottom here. I think it's down there. You got to pull that spring out. Shit, it's in there. But they usually don't break because there's they're made kind of heavy duty in the first place, the bulbs, and you got this plastic around here, and I think that's enough shock absorption between here and that bulb that they don't break that easy. So I don't know. That's how I think. Like I like the electronics, but I'd like to have a way to bypass it, and that's where I think the beauty of this damn thing comes in play for flashlights, because and like I said, you know, I'm not going to have this video being allowed to be embedded on blogs or commercial sites. I'm just telling you, this is how I think. This is how I think. I like electronics, but I always like to wait. If I could just take them off and have the thing work, or flip a switch and have it work. In this case, say we did have another Carrington event because we're going into the mini ice age, which is not supposed to bottom out to 2050 or 2060. When that happens, everything's going down, man. All electronics. In the meantime, you can have your fail-safe flashlights, the old style, that you could probably recharge off of a cheap ass freaking solar panel. I mean, you might have to change a diode or something, and forget about the voltage regulator. Just charge the damn batteries in a few minutes at a time, and the damn thing will work, you know. And the other thing is, these sleeves are so freaking small that you can keep extra electronics in your ammo can, and lined with like a towel. And if something breaks, you've got all this extra electronics with you that can lengthen the life of your batteries that you might have laying around that might not work in a lot of devices. So that's why I've been buying more of these damn things. I've been buying I don't know what the hell I got here. We got AAAs and AA's and whatever. Loads of them like down in here. These guys right here. You know. Wasn't so much. I was originally going to wait till Amazon put this on the market, but then but once I tried them, I was like, now I am really convinced. And I already figured out there's some big money against this, because it's going to save people a lot of money. Not really designed for flashlights, but the old style, it'll work, and some of the electronic ones, I'm going to find out what that is, which ones work for sure, with what electronic flashlights work with that. Well, there's a few of them out there, a few of them that'll benefit, because if the flashlight's on high, it's drawing down a battery really quick, and there's a few that'll help it with when you're using it on high. Sometimes you need that damn thing on high, like this damn thing. This thing don't last on high very long. It's pretty damn good otherwise, and it's good on low. You know, what is that? That's low. And once you set it, it stays. Like if you set it for low, this one goes back on low when you click it. This is called the little Thor Fire. This thing is actually, I like this light, but the one I use the most is this guy. It's like 13 bucks, man. And I dropped it a bunch of times. It still works. And again, I just want to throw this in here. This little trick. See this Magnolite? See that? How I made that? Just a wire. You got a stand, right? And if you want to hang it off of something, say you want to hang it off up here, right? You can hang it off up there, like that. See that? You know how high tech that is? All this is, and you got that little ring there, which you can hang that off a nail, right? That's real high tech. See that? I'm throwing it in here, even though I'm just throwing a bunch of little bullshit in this thing about flashlights. See what I did? I just wrapped this solid core wire around this. It's probably, I don't know, what is that? 12 gauge wire, 12 gauge wire, something like that. Solid core. And it's attached to the little lanyard hole on the bottom thing, so it can't fall off. And it makes a perfect stand. See that? How much that cost? $1? You know? very practical minded, very cheap, and that's why I said I like these, because I know electronics work very well, but when they don't work, I don't like it when something doesn't work electronic and you can't use it. With these, if we have some kind of event that destroys electronics, you could still, in the meantime, have your battery management on the outside of the sleeves, on the back side of the battery, and then pull the sleeves off, and your flashlight's still going to work. To me, I like that. That's just how I think. That's just how I think. And you could tell that's not something they're saying. You know, I'm saying it. I'm saying it. I think it makes a lot of sense that way. I like having a fail-safe backup method of making something work. And then you can go back to old school, just with the copper little prong in here, pushes the thing on, and you turn the button, and whatever, you know, goes on. That's it. I meant to say it like that. You gotta watch these old ones, man. Sometimes you gotta screw that stupid thing back on there again. But like I said, you know, they don't work. You just go, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, it's working now. It's the kind of shit I like. Carburetors versus fuel injection. How do you fix a carburetor? Well, here's your carburetor hammer right here, your mag light. Get that needle valve unstuck. You ain't gonna do that with your fuel injection. And you know, fuel injection, yeah, it's better, but you know what? You get these tiny little freaking things. If that's why they use those fuel pumps, electronic fuel pumps in the car with the fuel sock and the damn filter back way down in the bottom of the tank. Very sensitive to dirt. Like electronics are very sensitive to a lot of other shit. Like I said, I like having the old school fail-safe way. Just turn that baby on. Copper switch. There you go. As a matter of fact, I decided to just put the other two sleeves on this one here with the NiCad rechargeables. It did get brighter because it's putting out 1.5 volts on each battery versus 1.2. So instead of having 2.4 volts for both of them, it's got 3 volts. And with the old Krypton bulb, it's freaking brighter, man. So, and since I got a Bedini charger and I don't run those batteries down all the way anyway, I don't give a shit. So I'm doing that. I don't know if you should, but I'm doing it. I don't care. It's freaking light output just got brighter. Screw it, man. Well, you know what? It might turn out that some of the NiCad batteries, because those are freaking potent ass NiCad batteries. They're nickel cadmium. They're Tenergies. These fucking things can, excuse me, they can handle a lot of abuse, man. You know, so I put them on. You're not supposed to do that, but I did it. But you know what? There's a lot of stuff you're not supposed to do that I figure out sometimes. Well, I experiment, then I figure out sometimes it works. The other thing is, you know, if I use the hell out of a flashlight, I'm not going to run the batteries down that much because I'll throw it on a Bedini Renaissance battery rejuvenator. As long as I don't really use it up too much, it ain't going to damage nothing. It ain't going to damage the batteries anyway. But I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out because I know, like, the manufacturers always tell you shit you're supposed to do and what you're supposed to do because they're always trying to be cautious. Well, I do other things, you know. But I noticed now I really like this thing. It wasn't bright enough before. Now it's like, it's cool. Who cares? We'll find out.